So the commercial I am doing my textual analysis on is the Force. It's a Volkswagen commercial from 2011. It's advertising for the 2012, the all new whatever car was out that year. So for my analysis, I'm going to be doing an Aristotelian argument, but focusing on the pathos appeal that they use. So basically this commercial is of the little boy dressed up as Star Wars, as Darth Vader, and he's trying to use the Force to get different objects in the house to work. So really, I think the only appeal that they use for the Aristotelian argument is pathos, which, as I said, that's the emotional appeal. Throughout the commercial, we are continually developing an emotional, empathetic relationship with this young boy. I think that it's a very persuasive argument because it's a tiny little kid who probably can't be older than 7, and they're drawing their pathos from throughout. It's interesting because they don't actually use any faces. Like, the boy is covered up the entire time, so you'd think that it would be harder to make an emotional connection, but I actually think this makes it stronger because we don't know what the kid looks like, so therefore you can put whoever you want to be behind that mask, and I'm sure that you're imagining just the cutest little boy, maybe somebody that you know, making it even more relatable. And I think it even has a dog in the commercial that he's trying to manipulate, so that just adds to the emotional connection that we make. I think it's easy for us, if you don't have kids and you imagine yourself as that young kid, remembering when you were young and trying to make that emotional connection, make things work around the house and using your imagination and trying to use the Force. And if you do have kids, then it's easy for your heart to go out to this little boy just the way that it did for your kids, and seeing their imagination run wild, and you want to be there for them and help them out. And the parents obviously want what's best for the child, and so at the end of the commercial, the kid has been trying for about 90 seconds with different situations: the dog, the sandwich, his sister's room, trying to get her toys to work, and then it even draws more on the empathy when he runs out there, when the dad comes down to try to say hello to him and create an emotional connection. The kid just pushes him out of the way because he's so desperate for his dreams to come true, and in the end the dad presses his car alarm and makes the car rev the engine, and then which fulfills the boy's dreams and aspirations, and he's just shocked, and that just completes the emotional empathy. And again, I think it's crazy that it can create that pathos persuasion, even when you can't see the kid's face, but just the body language. He just puts his hands down and looks back at the dad, and he can't even believe that that's real. So what are they really selling in this commercial? I mean, up front they're selling the car, but really the commercial is selling a positive, close-knit family that lives up to the American dream. They've got the nice house, the nice car, 2 kids, a dog. It's everything that you would want in the American dream. A nice house, nice neighborhood. And who's the target audience? I think the target audience are probably families from their mid-30s to late 40s. Anybody with families, with kids, that, like, this car will just complete your American dream look, everything that you would want. And I think it may even be a white picket house. It's perfect. So I think there is some baggage or worldview of the worldview, but it does feed into the stereotype of the typical roles men and women play in families. The mom is the one at home with the kids. She literally makes her son a sandwich, and the dad is the wealthy businessman who works really hard all day long and drives home at the end of the day with his suit and his briefcase, and he's the breadwinner of the family. And the son just runs out to him to say hi, usually, probably, but in order to add to the commercial, he is too focused on Star Wars at this point. But it's a nice car, nice house. Working dad provides for the family. Stay-at-home mom raises the kids. There's 2 kids, a daughter and a son. The daughter loves pink and loves babies, like every typical, playing into that role that females love pink and babies, and the son likes action figures and heroes like Star Wars. But I also do think it is an assumption to assume that it is a boy, because you can't see his face, you can't see any features that would give away what sex he is, but it is assumed that he's a boy. But I do think that this commercial is a positive persuasion for the pathos argument, because it really does draw that emotion, even without the face of the kid. But I think that's what makes it stronger. You create this connection with this family, and you just a strong desire, and you want the kid for his dreams to be fulfilled. You want him to get the force to work on the dog or something, because you can relate to when you were younger, or you can relate to your own kids and you wanting that to work. So I think that it does a very good job with no words at all, to draw that emotion from the audience and that connection. And this commercial was super famous in the Super Bowl ad in 2011, early 2012, I think, and it was talked about all the time, one of the top ads definitely of that year. So, but there really is nothing in this commercial that sells the car based on its performance, based on anything logical like the logos argument, or with any credibility like ethos. It focuses solely on that emotional connection. But if you think about it, really, the family aspect has nothing to do with why you would want to buy a car. But this car is being sold to the family aspect. It's not being sold to like young single men trying to pick up women, but this is focused on the family aspect.